We got ourselves Team 1 together with Chilpins. We got iFox coming back in. We got Light Laz with Sensei. Chillin'. And Chicago actually getting a chance to play with Milo gonna be first up. Big jab, dude. What are these jabs? They're just able to zoom right over to people. It's just so weird to watch. Gonna be a quick stump, but Chicago as they get hit with a disarm. Trying to keep the pressure onto the monk as best as possible. Karma rolling onto Chicago, trying to see if they might be able to survive the onslaught by the green class. As Milo does recover behind the pillar for a moment, just to catch himself a bit of a break, just to catch up a little bit of health. And Chicago is gonna go, just gotta mess it with his win, at least able to build up a little bit of a maelstrom. Chicago locked down for a second, let's go for Ascendance, needs to get as well as much self-healing as possible. Quick stunner to stop Milo for a second. BDB is down, Milo should be able to get a lot of recovery. This time went to Chicago, unless they can get some ghost souls. They don't really have a lot of maelstrom to work with. They're trying to get the flame shocks and the frost shocks rolling. Versus Milo. And needs to get himself just a little bit more damage to get Milo low enough. Milo does have Karma coming back up in just a few moments, unless Milo gets zapped right out of nowhere. I think Chicago could maybe potentially have it. Karma does get enabled. There goes the Ghost Rules joining in with the Diffuse Magic. Karma is not going to be able to heal Milo. He does play the Ring of Peace, so he doesn't play good Karma just yet, or at least for this duel. Stun around the corner. Chicago tried to see if he could catch up to him. Ghost was being used up. And Milo just tried to go for the slows, just trying to give himself a bit of a breather, just trying to keep Chicago at bay, going for the, what's it called, hamstring or disable? I think those slows called either hamstring or disable. Another warrior just has hamstring, but I think monks might too. But if you use that twice or use disable or hamstring, their version of hamstring, on a character that's slowed, it actually applies a rune on top of it, so you can at least maybe somehow keep Chicago at bay for just a second, just to give himself a breather until cooldowns are back up. So when is available for Milo, no Lexi for a while though. He's trying to go for as much recovery as possible. Chicago's also playing it very, very slow. Milo finds himself very, very low in health. Chicago with the Chain Harvest does end up taking him out. And maybe that's exactly what Chicago's waiting for the whole time. Just to see if they can maybe take him out with the Chain Harvest, give himself a little bit of healing. Put that thing on cooldown, and maybe have it available for the next guy. As Revan's trying to go for a bit of a dot setup, versus Chicago, Cataclysm around the corner. Looks like Chicago is able to avoid him with Arda joining the member squad. My man, how you doing, my guy? Hurting you, dude? I remember you. I've been away for so long. Back to life, doing better. We'll play next special to promise. Sorry I haven't been around a while. Yo, Arda, I'm happy to know that you're doing good, my man. Yo, I'm happy to know that you're back on your feet and living life, my guy. Yo, come and get ass like Arda and Chad. Showing appreciation for a wonderful membership, my guy. Thank you so much, man. Yo, honestly, it's probably a good thing that you're... You know what? I'm happier to know, even if you can't be around streams, I'm happy to know that instead of like in some hospital bed watching streams, you're out and about and doing stuff and living life, man. Honestly, that's awesome, my guy. That's awesome to hear. Quick Succubus CC onto Chicago with a Soul Fire, and Chicago pops off that Aegis Trinket in order to reduce some of the fiery damage out of Reverence, chuck it out of Chaos Bolt, or at least attempt to. Chicago does dive behind the pillar for just a second in order to avoid it. Master Chain Harvest onto Reverence. If you could also put up a Flame Shock onto the Succubus, that thing is dead. Wait, did the Succubus died in Chain Harvest? I feel like if Chicago is able to put a Flame Shock on the Warlock and the Succubus, they'll be in such a good spot. Reverence is playing a very, very different set of talents today. He got himself that, what do you call it? It's like a fell, I don't even know what. It's like a little fell flames. Trying to go for a big stun on Chicago with a cancel to follow Mortical right after with a fear right after. That's going to be full lockdown. Soulfire does have the biggest burst possible. Decimated Bolt to follow. Soulfire does connect. I think that fear broke maybe a little bit early. And Revan's just trying to see if he can get some kind of slows on Chicago. Trying to go for that Necro setup if possible. Going to be attempted to fear. Channel Demon Fire. That's the ability. I think he's trying to see if he can channel Demon Fire to get interrupted on it. And maybe go for a fear. Revan's finally got himself a good angle. He just needs a little bit of CC on Chicago. Pop off some cooldowns, make some damage happen. Gonna be pretty big Soulfire with a Chaos Bolt to follow as a Blasphemy joins in. Gonna be interrupted on fire on Shadow, but it's gonna be a Channel Demon Fire to follow. Chicago, I think, might have to go for a Chain Harvest here. Revan's with a wall, just trying to use whatever he can in order to survive this. Still holding on to a full proper Infernal. And trying to build up as much Soulfire, as much damage as he can. This needs to build up enough Soul Shards in order to be able to get another double Chaos Bolt setup. Because if he can do that, that could be a ton of damage. Again, another Channel Demon Fire could give him opportunity in order to cast Shadow spells if he gets interrupted on fire. And Reverence with the Dark Pact, looking chill behind the pillar, maybe get himself a recovery as the Doran Shadows comes out for Chicago. Just trying to keep the pressure rolling, trying to make sure that they're tagging the succubus whenever possible. Does end up eliminating the pet, unless Reverend says fell Dom. I feel like he's gonna have to go for some kind of CC chain on Chicago, maybe like a Mortal Coil with a fear in order to get the pet back up. Otherwise, he's kind of out in the open trying to get some souls in Chicago. Unless he got a Mortal Coil, I think it's gonna be over. And Chicago does end up getting a zap on him. With Chat Morton gonna be up next. Charging Nod versus Chicago. Trying to see if they might be able to make some damage happen. Slamming down the big hammer. Gonna be a separate proc in Chicago with a trick and chain harvest. Catching up on all that hell. Trying to avoid Chat Morton like the plague. Ghost Wolf trying to see if he can outrun the Paladins Valley. Trying to see if he can juke him around the boxes. And Chicago trying to keep themselves afloat as best as possible. Generation getting used. The health dip is kind of low, 7 minutes of the duel, dampen is kind of high. Age of Streak going to use in order to try to mitigate some portion of the holy damage. His Chad is just continuing to press the onslaught. There goes the go. Does he get the proc? It looks like it's going to be a massive damage. Chicago could be enough. It's going to be a big burst with a chain harvest. Chicago does recover a ton of health with a heal. Walk in and use it after Chet does pop himself a bubble just to keep himself alive and healthy. Could go for a flesh craft. Looks like it's going to be Doris Shadows for Chicago. Does end up getting the Dinosaurian onto Chet. Trying to go for a stun with a stun to follow. Looks like he's going to force a trick it out of the Paladin. Paladin might just want to give it the rest of the damage he's got in order to take down Chicago. Going to be big percentage. Chicago got nothing for this one. I think Chet might be able to finish right here. It looks like Chet should be able to do it. With the death that Chill Pills is getting a big old yoink onto Chet. Has the bubble in case things get really rough. Does get a bubble pop in here. Next auto attack is going to activate wings. The Chill Pills did activate, I think, majority of his cooldowns. Maybe minus. Did it go for the grippy hand? Did already use A-bomb limb? I'm not sure if he did or didn't. Chet does activate wings to him. Huge damage turning around onto Chilpus though. It looks like Chilpus was going to be the aggressor, but it looks like Chet Morton is like, call an ambulance. But not for me. I got plenty of healing, plenty of damage. Chilpus is able to rotate defenses here. AMS was used. Might have to rotate even more. Try to use as many death strikes as possible in order to survive the Chet, but the silence could be really deadly for him. Does get himself a little bit of recovery. While wings are rolling, definitely need to go for as much health recovery as possible. Does get a juke out onto Chill Pills. He's trying to see if he can stop that heal. Chad is going to see Chill Pills go for that death pack. Chad cannot really stop the stun though. It's going to be really deadly for him. That's going to be a full stun, and with a remote sword, I think it's over. Oh, and Chill Pills does bring it back. Has the A-bomb limb. Looks like he kept it in his back pocket. Oh my goodness. Absolutely took some big damage from one paladin and then just blasted the other. With Kiryu going to be up next, and Chill Pills IBF this immediately. Try to stay extra aggressive versus the Feral Druid. Bleeds and thorns are rolling on him. That's going to be really, really bad for his health bar. Lichborn is up. Maybe it'll give him some damage reduction. Maybe a little bit of healing with those death coils. It's going to be a flesh cut for Chill Pills. Kiryu doesn't poke out to get a skull bash. Looks like he's just going for the complete reset. Chill Pills got himself just the littlest amount of healing increase. Just a little amount of healing recovery. And just continue to try to see if he can fight and tussle with the Jungle Cat. Gonna be a stun. Kiryu does go for a trick, and Barskin getting used up as he's trying to catch up a couple of regrowths. Chilpa's got nothing left. Maybe he can go for an interrupt on the Flesh Cut. Looks like Kiryu cancels his own Flesh Heat. That's gonna be a blind by Chilpa's. Does not have a stun to follow. Does give himself whatever defenses he's got. Just trying to activate whatever he can. And is looking to maybe get a couple of Blue Reds, to maybe get a couple of Death Strikes back to back. As this man's got nothing. There's absolutely nothing stopping Kiryu from going for a maim and a big old bite, biting the man's head off. Just gonna go for the bleed build instead. Just gonna play it super, super safe. In cap into Kiryu. No tricking available for the monk. Does go into Lexi into bear form as Alexia comes out. Festive Fury is still doing a lot of damage. Kiryu could be under trouble. Does get interrupted on that cyclone. Is trying to see if he can leap away from the monk. There's no escaping the monk. That's one of the fastest, most mobile classes in the game. And Kiryu is trying to see if he can still tussle with him. Jab does get Sensei back on top of Kiryu. With a Ring of Peace, helping boop him out of the way. Maim to Sensei. Does he get the clone properly? No, he does not. He's just way too close to the monk. Fist of Fury locking him down with Touch of Death, not letting the boy go anywhere at all. Oh my goodness. Chicago with him too. Chilpa's with him too. Let's go, boys. I like it. I like it.